Doing a little work on the car hauler trailer today, which is also doubles as the refrigerator hauler trailer. So I'm going to put a spare tire mount on here. What I got going on is a piece of scrap metal stuff and an old wheel hub that I can use. Happens to be the same bolt pattern. This is off a Cadillac or something, and it fits right on my bolt pattern for the trailer. So that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to weld this to this, then weld this to this. But first I got to make that a little nicer and pull this bearing off of here. Well, the wheel hub doesn't fit into my press over there, so I'm just going to chop it with an angle grinder, break it with a chisel. Alright, bearing's mostly off. I'll clean this up and we'll get to welding. So I want the tire to sit about 1 inch off of the trailer, just in case I use a different size tire at any time. Make sure it doesn't rub. Put a hole in it. So we'll just measure from the hub face down there to the trailer frame, down there, right about 5 inches. That'll be good enough. So from this surface to the hub, 5 inches. Got my piece of scrap metal clamped up in the vise here, and I bent that roughly like that so my tire will sit up a little bit. So I've got my tape here, then I ran a parallel line about 4.5 inches because my hub's about 1/2 inch thick. So I'm going to weld that sucker right like that, and then we'll be good. So I'm going to cut that off right there and trim this so it doesn't stick out onto the trailer. A few seconds with the portaband and we're all chopped up. So now my hub kind of slides in on there, and I'll spread it apart so I can set that on there and weld it. And I guess we'll center it up like this so that it looks good when it's mounted. The lug at the top. But I'm not cleaning the grease off. Sorry, clean freaks. There we are, fresh off the welder. Got it all burned in. I'm gonna stick it, I guess, right about there. I want to make sure that my stake pocket is clear of my tire. So I'll grind some paint off and then stick this guy on there. Alright, that guy's all welded on. Hit it along the back side. Of course, down the front sides and bottom. So while those welds are drying, we're going to head on to the back of the trailer and got the next project. So I got some swing away trailer jacks from Old Harbor Freight, and I'm going to use these as stabilizer jacks. So what you do is you put one on each side of the back of the trailer, and before you load something you lower those down, braces the back, that way the back of your truck doesn't lift up. I've had some issues with loading one of my tractors, and it's about 4,500 pounds, and it definitely lifts up the back of my truck, and if I'm on an incline, the truck starts sliding. That is not fun. So these come with these little stud thingies, so I'm going to weld these on. That's pretty easy. So the first thing you want to do is pick a spot where you can weld them onto. Make sure you got plenty of clearance for your handle to lift up, for your handle to swing around. You get the idea. Of course, I don't want it here out the stake pocket because I don't want to block my light. I get pulled over for that. Being a little OCD, I want this thing symmetrical, so we're going to go over to the other side and take a look, because that's where the ramps slide in. So on this side, I'm a little bit limited because the ramps kind of stick out. Could sort of put it there, but I'd have to pull the ramp out to do it, which it should be out anyways, but whatever. So after a little bit of looking, I could slide it in right here, but see the foot of my jack hits that back ramp, so we're not going to do that. I don't ever plan to leave these on the trailer anyways. They're a little bit prone to theft, and they don't have a lock on them, so I'm always pretty much just going to dismount them when I'm not using them. So instead of putting my stud there, I'm just going to put it out on this brace that I made for the D-ring. This is all 1/4 inch plate, all boxed in, so it's pretty strong. So it'll look kind of like that. That'll give me a good spot to put them. So that's what we're going to do. Grind some paint off, get those studs welded on. The way I like to line these up for welding is just to put it in the jack, put the pin in, then you can line everything up how you want it. Square up your foot with the trailer, make sure everything's plumb and level-ish, and then we'll tack her on there. So now we're tacked on. You don't need to get too obsessed with making sure everything's... make sure you slide your pin in the other way. So as I was saying, make sure you slide your pin in from that side if you got something over here, otherwise you got to break your welds and re-weld it. So don't worry about getting too obsessed with being exactly plumb and level and all that. because 99% of the time your trailer is not going to be plumbing level when you're loading, and this has a little bit of adjustment, a little wobble around. So as long as you're pretty close, it's going to work. So I'm going to burn this in, do the same thing on the other side, and just like that we got smoke. So that one's burned in and all the way around. Got this one all set. So let those cool down a little bit, and while those are cooling, got one more little trailer project to go here. Yeah, I broke my tail light, so I went and got a new one at Tractor Supply. So we get this guy swapped out. Fortunately, these are kind of a universal thing, and Tractor Supply just happened to carry the exact one. Probably could have got it cheaper online, but it was like $7, so I was there anyways. Figured I might as well grab it. We're gonna hop on Amazon or something later today and pick up about 6 of these and just throw them in the garage. Figure if I have a bunch of spares, I'll probably never break one again. All right, come back in about 10 minutes when those welds are cool. This is the best paint I've found for trailers and stuff. Just Rust-Oleum Automotive Gloss Black. It's good to touch up later on. Dries pretty good. Resistant to chemicals. I mean, what more could you want? And it matches like pretty much every trailer I bought, so I think this is what they use. And with this stake pocket where some kind of strap or something took some off, see? Blends in real nice. I like to keep rust spots painted so that later on I don't have to deal with bad looking stuff. Alright, paint's all dry, so let's go ahead and scratch it up. So normally you would just take it to wherever the jack touches the ground and then you're stabilized. But I thought I'd show you a nice little trick that these are an added feature. So now you got a way to jack your tires off the ground if you get a flat. So by having these stabilizer jacks, you also got built-in jacks. You can see we got both pretty good off the ground and we're not even maxed out yet. So if that's something you're wanting to do, then you should go ahead and position this to where it'll have enough travel to do that. Then we'll go over and mount our spare tire. There's our spare tire thrown up there. I need to go get some lug nuts for this and figure out a way to lock the wheel on so nobody steals it. Probably just do like a simple chain or something. You can see we're not sticking out further than our fender. We got plenty of clearance, so we're not going to rub and get a hole in our tire while we're driving around. So that's it. Modifications are done. Now we're all set to haul some more refrigerators or LS swaps. Either one works. And of course, no trailer job is complete without saying the magic words. Yeah, that ain't going anywhere.